Alright, now it's time to sculpt what's called the, let's do this in white, the Semispinalis Capitis. Okay, make sure you write this down. I hope you can see my spelling, but the Semispinalis Capitis. Okay, where is this muscle originating? Where is it inserting? Let's look at just the skeleton. So actually I'm going to rotate this around. Polyframe is off. Solo mode. And let's look at a slight 3/4 with perspective. Yeah, about like that. Okay, so again, just so we're clear, Semispinalis Capitis. Alright, where is this originating? Well, first let's find C7. So where's C7? Probably we're going to say C7's about here. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and then we're going to go all the way from 7, 6, 5, 4, so right here. And not the spinous process, but this transverse process. So these guys along the side. So again, the origin, let me just write this down over here. The origin is going to be the transverse process of C4 through thoracic 6 coming down. So now we're going to go thoracic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And maybe 7. So it's 6 or 7 down from C7. Okay, remember C7 is our landmark for so much. So you can go T7 down, or T26 or 27. Okay, either one of those is going to work all right. And now where is it inserting? Okay, where it's inserting is going to be in between the inferior nuchal line and the superior nuchal line. Okay, so it's going to be inserting into the back of the head. And let's just say above the inferior nuchal line. And you'll know the nuchal line if you've had a kid recently or somebody you know has a kid. This is one of the ways that they test whether or not the kid could have, the child could have autism, be autistic, or have some other aspect to them. So they'll look inside of a, I think, I can't remember the scan right now, but they'll look at the scan and they'll actually measure the nuchal line to see whether or not the child is likely to or not. So keep in mind that nuchal line, you know, it's just kind of an interesting little tidbit. I just had that with my daughter some 7 months ago. Alright, so now where and what is the shape of this muscle? Because it's important for you to be aware of the shape. Okay, remember, it is originating along the transverse process. So that means these guys out here. Okay, and you might think that if it originates down here, transverse process of C7, that it would just go in a straight line up, right? And if you've looked at a human being from the side, and judging since you have managed to work through our shopping cart on our site, you probably have. You know that most people's heads don't go, their necks aren't like that. So what you want to do is make sure that this is conforming to the spine. Okay? You want to make sure it conforms to the spine up until you get to about C7. When you get to about C7, that starts to change, and you start to pull away from the spine and starts to form its own kind of shape. So you can feel this yourself if you just take your hands and you reach to the back of your head, to your skull, and then you just take your hands down to your neck. Okay, right where the base of your skull is, you'll notice that you actually can't feel the spine unless you push in to where it's actually kind of, not kind of, but it is uncomfortable. It makes me a little queasy. Further down, somewhere where I might say you're at about C5, that's when you can start to feel the cervical vertebrae. C7 you can feel, C6 you can feel, C5 you can feel, C4 drops off the map. Okay, that just plunges in, and if you have to dig into that, it kind of hurts a little. So right around there between C5 and 4 is where the shape is going to start to change. Oof, just gave myself a headache, I think. So keep that in mind. Okay, that's going to be really important to this because the muscles are going to flow naturally. Alright, so make sure you've written all this down, pause the screen before we go forward and start to create this. Okay, now how am I going to add that muscle? Best thing to do is to append something, anything, probably a sphere 3D. Select the sphere. It's automatically converted into a polymesh, by the way. And it's put right at the center. So what I'm going to do is just move this up. Scale it down. Make sure symmetry is on when I scale it, so it doesn't scale to one side. Okay, and this is just the foundation for us. So transparency, move. Okay, just going to get this off somewhere close. So 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we're going to start down here at that transverse process. There we go. So I'm just embedding this basic shape somewhere where I can use curve lines or curve tube to some effect. I do want to probably hide this scapula, hide the humerus. You can hide the other scapula, hide the clavicle. Don't really need them. You could hide the spine. I'm sorry, not the spine, but the ribs if you've got them as this groups like I do. That's one thing, just so we can focus in on that spine. You might have done your ribs several different ways, but there we go. Okay, so now we're clean and clear. Let's select this guy. Let's even name it. So Spinalis, and then dash capitis. Alright. Geometry. Dynamesh. Curve tube. Make sure that stroke is not set as line. And now, I constantly forget this. Somewhere around right here. There you go. Lower the draw size. Okay. Don't need to adjust anything more than that. That's fairly okay, although what you could do is come in and take the inside a little bit like that. Okay. Now, well, I'm not happy. Oops, do not adjust your draw size. But I want to pull this out a little bit away from the spine. So C7, C6, alright, there we go. Larger draw size to affect a larger shape. Okay, and I want to get that closer to the edge. Because that's the first one. So the first one doesn't have to conform to the transverse process anymore. It's starting to move away from that. Okay, so pretty cool thing that we're going to do. Do we keep groups on? I'm not sure. Let's keep group on. Okay, let's go into stroke. I'm going to snapshot that. And then with the snapshot one, I'm going to move the edge of it up a little bit like that. And then move this side out a little bit. Okay, let's turn this off, and you'll start to see what's going to happen. We're going to start to spread this out. Start to take up a little bit more room as we move down there. Now, we've got a lot. In fact, I've got how many? 6 and 4. I got 10. So I need to make sure that this division of space is going to work. You know, don't get too greedy. Snapshot, pull that off to the side, pull it up. You might need to adjust. Oh, wow. See, did it again. Might need to adjust this to make it conform a little better. Alright, snapshot it. Move it up. Move it out. There you go. So that's 4. Snapshot. Move that one out. And up. And on and on and on we go. This is so cool that you can do this, that it's this easy to do actually. That's just one of the things I find kind of stunning, is just how simple that is to do. Okay, I'll fix the rest of those later. Snapshot. Okay. Alright. So that's close. We got 5. Let's go one more. Pull it in. And I'm not going to add it anymore to the side. Let's look at this a little bit from the side though. I do want to make sure it's dominant. So I'm going to lower my draw size and just out from the center like that. Yeah. Okay, now the other advantage, we've got group on, so I'm going to just instantly merge all of these, or I don't even have to merge, convert them into Dynamesh yet. I can keep them like they are, and since they're all separate in their groups, I just come in here, let's delete these curves, and I can treat each one of these separately. So one of the ways you do that, let's just go into Move Brush, you go Auto Masking, Mask by Polygroup, or you just Control-click to mask, Control-click to invert the mask, and then you work from there. So I tend to like the masking approach. And what I'm doing right now is just making these ones that are closer to the neck more dominant. Gets a little hard to see with all these colors. And clear the mask, select this one, Control Shift click, Control click. And we got to bring him forward and pull him back. About like that. Okay, could have been more careful with my curve, but then I was snapshotting. So up to you now that you've seen me do this. Optimize your own workflows. Now, if I'm not going to merge these guys, it is questionable how much this energy is worth. Okay, probably at this point I would stop. if I was going to merge them. Because watch what happens when I remesh and group is off. You know, very simple, right? So let's redo that, turn Dynamesh off. Let's set our resolution and go back into Dynamesh. That's a little better. Turn it off, set that a little lower, and then turn it off, lower, back in. Let's undo. Okay, I'm going to set that back to 200. Dynamesh is off, setting it back on. Alright, that's going to work out all right for me because I can come in and use snake hook, or better yet, move with the AccuCurve on, and that'll give me the points I need. Just come in and connect everything. Did accidentally merge with this piece here, so not too bad of a problem. Let me see if I can show you how to solve that. So I'm going to get rid of that chunk. Okay, let's see. Is that it? Anything else left of it? Yeah. Okay, so now we've got some gaping holes. Control, Shift, click, and drag. It's not going to do it without deleting that stuff, so delete hidden, Control, click, and drag. Okay, so we deleted hidden, this little tiny button right down here. Okay, while it was in Dynamesh, it was fine, it didn't care. So we deleted hidden, and then we asked it to remesh it. And so by remeshing it, it closed the holes. So that was kind of nice, simple way to get rid of that extra little piece, which we didn't really want at the end of the day. Okay, so this is going to be one of the muscles we need to focus on. Now we got more. Now I spent a little bit of extra time on that, and you know, it's questionable how much it's worth it. The next ones I'll speed up, but I wanted you to see the curved tubes workflow there and the snapshot options. So we'll see if we can speed that up next time.